Well, hey folks, welcome to another episode here at Gideon's Tactical. Today I'm excited just to walk through with you 5 essential pieces of my EDC, my everyday carry. It goes with me everywhere. Now, the items that you see in front of you, we're going to walk through them pretty quick. I've done reviews on all the products that you see here in front of you in the past. So in this video, this isn't really, like a review in that sense. This is just to kind of talk you through why these are my essential 5 pieces of my EDC kit. And these are the pieces that are on me, physically on my body. They're not in a pouch, they're not in a bag, they're not in a backpack that may be left, forgotten, or left in a car, something like that. These literally are in my pockets and in my waist every single day, 24/7 when I walk out the door. These 5 pieces. So even if I forget my EDC bag, or I'm just popping out to the store for 5 minutes, whatever, these things I literally can't leave my house without these items. So let's go ahead today. Let's just walk through them real fast, show you what I have here and what are my go-to 5 EDC essentials. And hopefully by the end of this video, it'll maybe just kind of point you in the right direction for maybe a couple items for your own EDC. So with that, let's jump to it, start talking through these items. All right, now on to item 2 here for the EDC, 5 essential EDCs. And honestly, guys, I'm gonna keep it real with you. This is a must. A multi-tool on you is a must. I can't say it enough. It boggles my mind how many people do not carry just a small, compact multi-tool on them. We run here in this world that we live in, we run into so many situations every day where we need, in my opinion, at least one of these tools. I bust this out literally almost every day, at least once, to do something. And at under $30, USA made, with all the little items that it offers, and so tiny, so compact, a PS4 squirt from Leatherman is a must. You guys gotta pick up one of these. And if not, then you gotta find something that's very close in the amount of tools that are gonna be offered to you. Because not only are you gonna be getting 2 types of flatheads, I mean, there's so many times a day, that it's like, oh, I need to unscrew that, or oh, I need to tighten that down. Even if it's like a chair I'm sitting on, it's like, oh, man, this is kind of loose. I need to tighten this up. Bam, busting that out, or somebody's coming to me, hey, do you have a screwdriver on you? Absolutely. And these heads are gonna basically be able to fit almost every flathead you can come in contact with, but also a majority of Phillips heads that you'll run into. So, I mean, those are those flatheads. Just makes sense. The scissors, their scissors aren't a huge deal to me, and that's why I made sure to get the PS4 version of this. I gotta have pliers up here because a lot of those other little pocket multi-tools like this, keychain multi-tools, have scissors up here for the head. In my opinion, I would stay away from those. I just don't use scissors that often. It's nice to have as an extra little feature, more for like personal grooming almost than anything else is what I usually use those for. Maybe every once in a while removing a tag if it's kind of in an awkward spot and I don't want to use my knife and possibly damage clothing or something. But most of the time the knife's going to be the one that I'm going to look to. But it is nice to have that little scissors on there, and as I've been saying, going to those pliers, these pliers are just going to do a lot of stuff for you, regardless if it's grabbing small items, small bolts, or cutting through wire. Any sort of smaller electrical rewiring that you may have to do, cutting through up to 12 gauge. I wouldn't be doing a ton of 12 gauge with this, but it can handle some 12 gauge, for a short period of time, and then it's going to probably start to deform the teeth a little bit over time. But even smaller wiring, computer wiring, that type of stuff. For people that work with your hands in the computer field, this is like a must to have this multi-tool, in my opinion, so you don't have to constantly keep going back to your tool belt, and just is great. Now I love that spring loaded there. And then you do have that file. Now I use this file mostly as personal grooming, but I've also used it for some steel, filing off of rough edges and those type of things, that I've just come across. It's nice to have that. And then finally that blade. And honestly, you don't really need an EDC knife when you have this with you. I mean, this knife is going to handle majority of EDC tasks that you're going to come across: opening packaging, cutting off tags, like I said, those type of things, and even very minor, feather sticks if you had to, if you were in some emergency situation, or whatever, you could get it done because of how thin and how fine that blade edge is. But guys, I mean, this Leatherman Squirt PS4 has, as you can see here, just been really loved, really worn, so compact. And this is on my house keys, so I cannot leave my house, I cannot lock up my house and walk away without having this guy here on me, and that is just a must. So I love this thing, and I would recommend all of you having a good solid keychain size multi-tool on you at all times. you're going to use it constantly, and it boggles my mind when people don't. So there you go, guys. One of the most, out of these 5 that I'm listing, this is one of the most effective and most used and the most recommended that I can, suggest to you guys. All right, on the other side of my keychain, so again, I cannot leave the house without these, and this is on the same key ring as my Leatherman that we just looked at, is this EDC flashlight. Now this thing weighs like next to nothing. I think it weighs less than an ounce. No, I know it weighs less than an ounce. Plastic, this costs $10, and it is a USB rechargeable flashlight. Now I've done a review, and all these items will have their full reviews in the links in the description below. So if you want to get into really deep detail with these items, you can check those out as well. But $10 on Amazon, eBay, all over the place. This has a little plug hole right here that you just use a micro USB plug, I believe is the plug that it takes right there. It's got a little rubber covering. And when this runs out of juice, you just plug it in about 2 hours, bam, you're charged and ready to go again. And this thing is just awesome. So lightweight. You got the little squeeze button right here. So you got low, you double tap it, whoop, there we go. And you got high, which I believe is 45 lumens. And then if you want to, you can grow it or shrink down the, there you go, you can see it, I believe. Let me see here. There we go. You can grow the light to the lumens that you want. So if you don't want the low lumens, which I believe is like 1 or 2 lumens, and you don't want the 45 lumens, if you just hold down the button, you double tap it and then hold it down, it can go, maybe, hey, 26 lumens, there we go, and then you just turn it off again. So it's adjustable lumens as well. And again, so compact, it's actually about the exact same diameter. If I can get these both in the frame here for us. Exact same diameter as that Leatherman Squirt, but it is going to be obviously thinner, and again, just weighs next to nothing. And I've been rocking this for, I want to say 6 months now or more. And I know most people's phones now have flashlights, but this is just so much faster, so much quicker, and gives a longer, larger throw than what I found with my flashlight on my phone. So, and at $10 rechargeable, you can't go wrong, guys. So this Nitecore tube light is awesome and highly recommended, and it's just an extra EDC item that is just really useful. And even in a life and death situation, someone's coming at you, you got that, you double tap that light real fast, shine it in their face. You're going to give yourself a couple seconds there as they readjust to the light and blinds their eyes, that they're not going to be fully functional, they're not going to be able to come at you as effectively. Then that's going to give you the chance to either get away or go on the offensive or whatever you need to do. So I think this thing is fantastic, and at that price point, size, and capacity, just makes it a no-brainer for one of the 5 essential EDC items. All right, I've gone over this knife multiple times, and it's still sticking around, guys. This is, take away all of my folders, which I have a lot of, this is the knife I want to stick with because it's big enough to handle a lot of larger tasks, but still compact and lightweight enough that I don't feel it in my pocket and it doesn't take up a lot of real estate. So that's why the Manix 2 Lightweight by Spyderco is my go-to EDC knife, the one that I have to have and do not ever want to get rid of. This thing is just awesome. It's under 4 ounces in its weight. You got that really nice paperclip style tip up deep ride pocket clip. I love that. The traction on the and the just overall design of the handle really gives me full real estate in my large size hands there. So with the jimping and with that really deep guard, I could, again, if you're not trained, you don't really know what you're doing, a knife is not a good thing to try and think that you're going to defend your life with. It's better than nothing, but I do not recommend that. Do it at your own risk. But if you do know what you're doing, hand to hand, this is definitely going to be locked into place enough and has a solid enough lock with their lock bar kind of ball bearing system that they have there. So you can not only deploy it and close it one-handed, which is always cool, but also it's strong enough to be able to handle that stabbing task if you needed to, but also just gives you that nice finger choil that if I need to, I can choke up right there. And then I got that really good blade that I can do lots of food prep, cardboard cutting, wood cutting, backpacking chores if I'm on a backpacking trip. Again, self-defense. You go down the list, this blade shape, the size at 3.3 overall, and then I believe 2.75 actual cutting edge, just really gets the job done. Thin enough to do awesome slicing, but strong enough to handle the harder abuse. The USA made BD1 tool steel is great. It's easy to resharpen and holds a good edge. It's not a super steel. S30V versions of this knife will hold a better edge for a longer period of time, but they're kind of a pain in the butt to resharpen. This one, I can look at it and it resharpens itself almost. That's how easy it is to resharpen, and it still is pretty good at the edge retention. Definitely better than what you're going to see like in an AUS 8, you know, or like a Sandvik type of steel. So that's why, guys, this is my go-to EDC and one of the 5 essentials. What I want to look at here is my wallet. Now, every single person, you know, has some form of a wallet to carry, you know, your credit cards and your receipts and your cash, your ID, all that type of stuff. Now, I've been rocking this Vanquest RFID blocker wallet. This is a twofold wallet now for I think 2 years almost, and Ashley has the exact same one, just in black. She's been rocking it for the exact same amount of time, and we just love them. They're very well designed, they're very durable, good Cordura nylon. You're gonna get, you know, 2 clear windows on one side, so I'm able to have 2, you know, IDs that people may need to look at on a regular basis right there. And I can get about 6 cards per window, and then it has these 2 other windows over here for, you know, my credit cards and debit cards. And again, it has a RFID blocker, and in this day and age, you know, your identity, your credit card number is so easy to get ripped off, regardless if it's at a store or just by a passerby at this point in time. It's just better safe than sorry. So that was a big selling point for me as well. And then it still has that, you know, large amount, because I deal with cash and I do deal with a lot of receipts and reimbursements for my job. I have to spend a lot of money at my job and then getting reimbursed for it. So this has just really held up well. You can see there's definitely been worn extensively, but I love it, and I don't have any plans to replace it at this time, and just really fits a need. So that's just a great option. And whatever wallet you're picking out, you know, think particularly of that RFID blocker and something that's going to be able to carry the amount of cash and, you know, receipts and all those things that you would want, and something that's going to be durable and really hold up and isn't going to break down. So this Vanquest one, this has been fitting that bill for quite a while for me. All right, guys, last item here on the list is your concealed carry. Now, I picked up my concealed carry and went through the classes, did all the things I needed to, I believe 2 years ago now. So I've been rocking this gun, and this was the gun that I picked up. Now we again have a review on this gun, and I love it. This shield has now, again, been on me for about 2 years and has seen over 5,000 rounds through it. I don't think I'm quite at 10,000 yet, but thousands and thousands of rounds, no joke. Every type of ammo I can think of, and I have not experienced a jam on this gun. No issues whatsoever. I'm just really, really happy with it. And the main reason for that, as we check the gun here, and you can see no ammo. The reason that I picked this gun is one, price point. This is right around the $400 mark. You can sometimes even get a little cheaper, around $390, depending on where you pick it up. So 400 bucks. You're getting a single stack. Now they make it in a 40 and a 9mm. I went with 9mm because in a concealed carry situation, usually you are within about 10 to 20 feet of the perpetrator. You know, you're not going to be doing these long range shots with your concealed carry gun. If you go through a concealed carry class, you know you're in big trouble if you are doing that. You know, and trying to take out a perpetrator from like 50 yards away or something, you know, it's not going to happen. So 9mm for that close compact with a hollow point, you're going to be good to go. And you have less muzzle velocity, muzzle climb when you're firing it versus a 40, and it's going to be way less. So that's why I went with it. You know, that's great. You can carry a 40 or 45, and I don't want to get into caliber discussions here, and I'm sure I'm going to see some, you know, oh, 40 or 45 is better. But the heavier the gun, the less likely you are to carry it. So I wanted something that was lightweight so I wouldn't feel it as much in my pants. So that is why I went with this guy right here. Now, when I am carrying the gun, I also picked this out because I wanted an external safety. So that's why, you know, a lot of these other firearms, when you're carrying it hot, and you should always be carrying your concealed carry hot. If you're not, then it's basically useless because you're not going to have time to pull it out, rack your slide, and then try and defend yourself. The likelihood of that happening is slim to none. So you want to be carrying that hot. So if I'm carrying it hot, I wanted to make sure that I had, you know, external safety. You know, as my wife and I, you know, as our lives continue and we have kids and all that stuff, it just makes sense to me. And so you just practice with clicking that safety off. It's very easy to disengage, and bam, you're good to go. And that single stack is just really nice and thin at just under an inch overall thickness makes this almost invisible in your pocket, I mean in your pants when you're carrying it in your waistband. Then I go with my extended clip because of the size of my hand. So I carry, holds 8, but a lot of you who use firearms a lot know it's good to leave one out so that the spring and it just feeds better that way. And that's what I've experienced, and that's part of the what I attribute the no jams to and feeding issues. So this is a 8-round mag, but I carry 7 plus 1 instead of 8 plus 1. And again, I've never had an issue jamming. And then I always do a Kydex holster. I don't remember where I picked this up from, one of the companies that makes Kydex holsters, but this thing's awesome and I have no plans to swap it out at the moment until I find something better. But I would highly recommend that over leather or nylon. Friends of mine who carry their guns in leather and nylon holsters, you know, leather and nylon wear out. Nylon particularly is bogus, and you know, if you're going to spend $400 on your gun, you might as well spend good money on what you're going to carry it in. It kind of makes no sense to me when you're going to spend $400, $500. Some people have $1,000 guns and they spend 10, 20, 30 bucks on their holster. It just makes no sense to me. So, and excuse me, some Kydex is very inexpensive. I think I picked this up for like 35 bucks. Fits in there great. No issues whatsoever. Bam, and I'm able to pull it out real nice and fast. So there you go, guys. That is the self-defense portion, if you will, and it's important. It's really important. I know, guys, it takes time, it takes money to get a concealed carry license, but in this day and age, with all the craziness in this world, I cannot emphasize it enough. Do it. Get your girlfriend, get your wife. You know, if you're a woman and your husband, your boyfriend doesn't have one, get them this fire. You know, get them a concealed carry so that they can defend themselves and then carry it. Carry it. What's the point of doing your concealed carry and then it's not on you? That makes no sense. So, guys, that's just my 2 cents and my recommendation there as we get close to wrapping up this video. Well, folks, there you have it. We walked through these 5 items. I hope, if anything, it's just kind of pointing you in the right direction, talk you through some concepts as well, and really help you think through EDC, everyday carry. You know, items that you cannot forget, that are small enough, lightweight enough, and compact enough that is not a huge burden for you to carry. It's not cumbersome, it's not annoying. And these items, I believe, or any, you know, variation of that, you know, if you don't like that particular type of flashlight, maybe you have your own flashlight, but have some kind of flashlight. Maybe you don't like the squirt, maybe you need something else, but have some sort of multi-tool, some sort of folder, some sort of firearm. You know, get your concealed carry if at all possible. You know, a good wallet that's going to protect against, you know, the scanners that could rip off those numbers. I mean, just those type of things. Just think through that. And if it's these items, awesome. If there are other items that fit in your system, great. But create your EDC system in such a way that it's so easy to carry on you that you will never leave it at home, because the day you leave it at home is the day you need it. So guys, I really hope that this video has helped you out and just kind of point you in the right direction. And as always, thank you so much for checking out the channel. Please subscribe, comment, like, share this video. Check us out on all the relevant social media. You can always see photos and updates, and it's a great way to get in contact with me. The links to all of our social media are in the description below. And as always, remember to stay equipped, stay prepared, and we'll see you out there.